What is going on, you guys? It is Dog Cost Crypto here with some special guests, man. We're here to react to the Dr. Phil show. Kind of an Andrew Tate, Rollo Tomasi stream, basically. Shout out to our boy, Rollo Tomasi. Killed it on Dr. Phil, and we're going to do a live reaction. I am joined today by the Red Pill Lions, man. What is going on, you guys?
Hey, thanks for doing it here in our studio. I'm happy to talk about this one.
Excited. What's this episode called? I forgot. There's like a title for it, right?
Dr. Phil, the demise of God.
The demise of God.
The demise of God.
Oh my! But without further ado, man, let's go watch Dr. Phil with this train wreck.
This is crazy.
It's a good one.
Here we go.
On an all-new Dr. Phil. Who here has heard of Andrew Tate? The demise of God.
This new think idea that men and women are the same is complete garbage that's been invented, right?
Are you an Andrew Tate adherent? He describes it as sexual encounter, slap, grab, choke. It's how it should be.
Well, if it's consensual, it's all good.
Again, to the point where I've got to come on the Dr. Phil show and be an apologist for Andrew Tate, which I am not going to do.
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Safe
Today
place.
is going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
Right after it was two gay guys on the screen.
Is Dr. Phil just famous for the show? That's it.
Well, Oprah shouted him out originally, and she was like, "Oh, watch Dr. Phil," and then he got his own show. I think that's how it worked out. So she basically made him.
It's the mustache that made him.
I wonder if he had him. He must have had a radio show or something.
Yeah. She found him, and she'd been like, "Oh, I use Dr. Phil," and then eventually she just like built up his brand. She must have equity in a show or something.
Yeah, and good to
Oh.
point out, I forgot before we really get rolling, a
Yeah.
good portion of the beginning of this, I completely forgot, is not based on Rollo.
No, it's not. It's kind of like I think they're talking to some other guests that's supposedly in the Red Pill. I've never heard.
Yeah, well, we're about to...
0% have heard of this.
I think they just found some random dude off the internet that like talks about stuff on the internet, on like,
Yeah.
Instagram.
He claims he's Red Pill, and he's just some random.
Yeah.
Yo, I help guys pick up chicks, and the dude looks like he's never picked up a chick.
Yeah, well, that part that we're about to see is like a half well-established incel that's like kind of peeped some game, and he's been in the gym a little bit, and I think he jumped right from just kind of like half improving himself a little bit to coaching people on TikTok like Tate does, and
Is it just wearing a suit jacket and you get on Dr. Phil?
this kid really looks like he was like used in a pawn in this, because it's safe to say, knowing mainstream media, there could have been a perfectly normal looking cat that you look at that's like, I like Tate, I like Rollo stuff, and you look at the guy and visually you're just like, I could tell, you can sense when a dude carries himself well, and you know he gets women, you know he can conduct himself socially properly, and they definitely could have found that, but like they're like, get one of those guys that looks just like they're saying they look, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's all weirdos, and that's unfortunate for this kid.
Right. So let's continue on. Still looks good for his age. Yeah.
Good morning. Well, recently, people across America were Googling, who is Andrew Tate? Now, who here has heard of Andrew Tate? Really?
I knew it. Really?
He was so shocked. He was like hoping to have nobody raise their hand. Who's heard of Andrew Tate? You see, okay, so that way he'd be able to tell you exactly like what his thoughts are. Now it's like the whole crowd knows who Andrew Tate is. He's like, God damn it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you just pause it right there.
Andrew Tate.
Well, almost. Hold on. Right there. It's like pretty decent. Like that's.
Oh, there's Rollo. I didn't even notice he's right.
Rollo's raising his finger.
It's like,
It looks like
he's throwing up a gun sign.
He has a hand up like this.
Looks about like 80% of the audience right there.
Yeah.
dude, I had a 7-year-old kid that I coach in hockey ask me, he's like, "Do you support Andrew Tate?" I'm like, what?
You should have been, that's Rom, kid.
That was my least favorite question throughout the whole Tate era, is when people framed it that way. Do you support him? I'm like, is he running for president? What are you talking? Do I support him?
It's like, how did he become like the hot button topic to be talking about? Like, all he did was hack YouTube, right? And then he has an opinion, and some people don't like it. It's just the fact that people go so ballistic. It's like it becomes one of those buzzwords. As soon as people hear it, they just get triggered because they have to have a side, one side or the other, right?
It's a very weird question to ask. Do you support Tate, or like, do you support Rollo? Do you support the work? I'm like, they don't need our support. It's like, do you watch or do you read Rollo's material?
There's like 2 points for why they hate Rollo. I mean, they hate like what's called Andrew Tate so much. One, a lot of people in Hollywood are really mad how famous Tate is, because Tate is more well known than a lot of movie stars. Right? And there's a lot of movie stars, especially like I wouldn't say the Rock's hating or anything, but there's a little bit there where they're kind of pissy. They're kind of really pissed off of how much more famous. Like, he is so well known. It's kind of insane, actually.
He was the most Googled man on earth.
I mean, we all know. I mean, if you use common sense, half of it's jokes, right?
Right.
But there is some truth in jokes, right? And there is truth in comedy, and then there's that other side too, where it's like or like one of the funniest things I think Andrew Tate ever did was say like, if girls just had their entire how many men they slept with on their fucking forehead, all the world's problems would be solved. And all jokes aside, I mean, there is like some truth in there to like, but not all our problems.
It's like so vile to women. It's so thought provoking to us. We're like, huh?
No, but
like actually like thinking about the ramifications of that.
I remember talking to my brothers back in the day, and just like we would just joke around. Imagine if there was like pussy facts, like car facts.
Pussy facts.
You would look up someone's history. I mean, but this whole thing, like I said, this was off of like a whole tangent when in the conversation between my brothers, where we were going on if everyone had all the background information on everyone else, how much more people would like keep their number in control. Like it's basically what would happen is I mean, it's basically it would almost take us back to that whole contraception sort of era that area, right? Imagine the pill didn't exist, so you have to be really careful who you sleep with.
Yeah,
right. It would control things down and make things a little more fair and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think I was going to do this. Shout out to Rolo. I think we were going to do another stream on my channel about well, I think it was Vox Day. It was basically an entire episode on something called deltas. Have you ever heard of deltas before?
Yeah, and Rolo's talked to me about deltas personally, but they started giving it, the kids, like social media, they started giving it a different definition.
Yeah. So it's like, everyone knows the alpha, the betas, and the betas is like this huge category.
The delta to sigma.
The sigma,
right?
Exactly right. So the backbone of the whole U.S. economy or the whole world economy is deltas, which are basically the dads that get a wife and then support the whole economy, go to work every day. Good people. That's the deltas. They're the backbone of the society. Then you have the betas, which are like the second in command. Basically, they're lesser alphas.
Second in command. That's something hysterical to me about that.
But yeah, but they're lesser in command. They're like, there's the alpha, then he has his goons, like in the movie and stuff. Like, so it's like, if I'm the alpha, you guys are over here like managing the rest, helping me manage the kingdom. And then there's the deltas who are really the ones collecting the food, doing this and that. And they're sort of like a social.
Goombas.
The Goombas, yeah, the Goomba squad.
It's actually kind of like
Mario. No,
I know.
It's actually kind of like the pyramid of a company if you think about it, because we talk about betas like they're useless, but they're not, because at the bottom level, there's certain shit that just still needs to be done.
Yeah.
And there's cats that are going to do that. They're not going to be alpha. They're not going to be delta. I forget what sigma is.
Yeah.
I stick with my classics. Beta and alpha.
No, it's
blue
alpha,
pill and red pill, but
alpha beta is the easiest classification.
Yeah.
This is more of a more advanced, more like in-depth sort of thing, because it's not all like red and blue. Right?
What's sigma?
The sigma, if I remember right, basically there's two definitions. The one I remember is basically like he's the alpha loner guy.
Okay.
Yeah, like
lone wolf,
but he's like Mad Max, like he comes out on top all the time. And there's gammas, which are like basically they're basically deltas that believe that they should be alphas, and they're both sigma and gammas are loners.
Okay.
Except the gamma does dangerous shit or is willing to do treacherous things in society in order to ascend themselves, maybe even past like their actual skill level,
like a Machiavellian type.
Yeah, like, and they're really weird too. Like they're willing to do some pretty dumb stuff, and like they'll like it's like they believe they should be alpha, and then it's almost like I would say like now to gamma. I would probably be a sigma or gamma, but it's sort of like in Lion King how the brother just ended up, and then he ruined the whole kingdom.
Yeah,
the whole kingdom was ruined.
Scar,
it was
right?
Yeah. Scar is one of those kind of like gamma sort of like sort of archetypes a little bit.
Good example.
Yeah, that's a good example and stuff. But
that pyramid of a company or even of an economy is, I think that's a good example, because the alpha, despite whatever the internet wants to claim the various different definitions are, like the main thing we can all agree on is someone he don't take no shit.
Right.
Fearless, don't take no shit.
Top of the food chain.
Top of the food chain, or like top of the company or top of the pyramid. As you go down, whether it's a company, an economy, a society, there's still levels that are needed and they're there. So if at the very top, like the owner, the CEO, you name it, the Illuminati, the guys that absolutely take no shit, down the line, I don't know the order as from delta to sigma to how it gets all the way down to beta, but you could definitely agree that the alpha's way at the top, and then you've got like, he takes no shit. The guy below him, will you take a little shit? Okay. Like, will the guy below him take a little bit more shit? And the guys that eat the most shit are at the bottom, and those guys are still needed. Like at the very bottom level of whatever you're running, someone still has to like mop the floor.
The ones with
like,
status
it's got to
won't
get done.
shit. That's why.
We should just put those ones as omegas, because that's
fuck. That's the other one.
We are coming out with a lot of names right now. It's a lot of names going on.